Dr. Iram had delivered more than 2,000 babies in her 20-year career. She was a woman who lived by science and skill, a calm commander in the endless war against uncertainty. But I will never forget the look on her face that night. It was not the look of a doctor facing a medical complication. It was the look of a judge about to pass a sentence. She looked at me, her eyes cutting through my suffocating panic, and then at my wife, Aisha, so beautiful and terrifyingly still on the delivery table. "If you could only save one," she said, her voice a low, steady whisper against the frantic symphony of beeping machines. "Who would it be?" This is the true story of how the answer to that impossible question was decided not by me, but by a promise made in the pouring rain, 30 years before any of us were in that room. Just 3 months earlier, that delivery room had been a distant, hopeful dream. We had been in Dr. Iram's sunlit office, Aisha's laughter filling the space as she listened to the strong, steady heartbeat of our unborn son. "I feel so safe with you," she had told the doctor, her hand resting on her belly. Dr. Iram had smiled, her warmth genuine. "My job is just to guide you," she'd said. "You are doing all the hard work." Our relationship was built on a simple, easy trust, with no hint of the storm that was gathering just beyond the horizon. That storm had its origins in a different time, on a day of gray skies and raging water 30 years ago. In a small village much like the ones our own parents came from, a flash flood had turned the local river into a muddy, churning beast. A 9-year-old girl named Iram was clinging to a tree branch, her strength failing as the current pulled at her leg. Just as she was about to be swept away, another girl, 11 years old and with a face of fierce resolve, waded into the dangerous water. It was Aisha's mother. She grabbed Iram's hand and, with a strength born of pure courage, dragged her to the safety of the muddy bank. Lying there, shivering and gasping for air, the younger girl whispered, "You saved me." The older girl, serious and composed, looked her in the eye. "Promise me something," she said. "Promise you will always do the right thing, no matter how hard it is." Little Iram, her heart full of awe, gave her solemn word, "I promise." In the delivery room, that promise was a forgotten echo. The world had shrunk to this sterile, white space, where a sudden placental abruption had put both Aisha and our child in mortal danger. Dr. Iram was no longer the warm guide from the office. She was a fighter, her voice sharp with commands as her team tried one desperate measure after another. But nothing worked. The vital signs on the monitors for both my wife and my son were plummeting into darkness. It was then that she asked me the question. My mind went blank, a white wall of panic and grief. I could not form the words. I could not choose. I could only shake my head. A man utterly broken. Dr. Iram turned away from my silent failure and back to her patient. She took a cloth to wipe the sweat from Aisha's brow as the team prepped for a final, high-risk procedure. And in that moment, under the harsh glare of the surgical lights, she saw it. A small, crescent-shaped birthmark just above Aisha's left eyebrow. The frantic beeping of the machines seemed to fade into the distance. The memory, buried for 3 decades, rushed back to her. A brave little girl covered in mud, with that exact same crescent mark on her face, the girl who had saved her life. This woman on her table was the daughter of her savior. The promise made in the rain returned, not as a whisper, but as a clear command. The medical dilemma became a moral imperative. The right thing was to honor the past, to pay the debt. Her voice, when she spoke again, was sharp and decisive, cutting through the chaos. "Forget the fetal monitor," she ordered her team. "We are saving the mother, now."